And now we can talk shit about Mr. Hamas Piker. I'm so excited.
I can't believe I'm about to talk about this. I mean, how the hell does a simple stream clip go so viral that it becomes a literal cultural phenomenon? I mean, this has truly taken the world by storm to the point where you're finding references of it in places you're never meant to find references of it in the first place. This has reached the Formula One community, the Gacha community, and to my complete surprise, even the Counter-Strike 2 community. You'd see Anders, a legendary Counter-Strike commentator, make a direct reference to Hasan shocking his dog during a game. It would happen as soon as he'd see a player use a taser. Watch.
Oh, it could get worse. Towson on the corner. Gotta be careful. Hide your dogs. It's Sari going down. That is brutal. Saka.
Bro said hide your dogs. I had a viewer who had his 70-year-old coworker reference this to his face. Okay, he has no kids, no internet. And seeing that this blew up beyond proportion, of course, it has also reached news publications, ones as big as Forbes. So how did we even get here? Okay, how did this take the world by storm? And why does it keep getting worse? Well, let's talk about it. Alright, so the streamer at the center of this incident is none other than Hasan Piker, otherwise known by his Twitch username, Hasan Abi. Well look, I'm sure he needs no introduction, alright? This is one of the—
Yeah. He supports terrorism. He hates Jews. He basic shit. You know, besides hating Jews, he hates Ethan. He hates a lot of people. Let's see the allegations. Hooked up a terrorist. Twitch's golden boy. Can do no wrong. Dan Clancy loves him. Basic shit.
Biggest political streamers on the planet, and just like any political personality or political commentator, he has his fair share of enemies and his fair share of controversies. But that doesn't really interest us. What we want to know is how we got to the point where this became a global phenomenon. So what happened exactly? Well, this all began on October 7th, 2025, when Hasan was streaming and something particular would happen. Someone would clip that moment, post it on the subreddit livestream fail, and it would very quickly gain traction, going completely viral. The title for this post is Hasan reaching for something and seemingly shocking his dog to keep her in camera view. Now look, before we get into this, I used to know a girl who would literally cry at National Geographic documentaries, so if you're like that, feel free to skip a minute, okay? Because you'll be hearing his dog whimper in pain. Watch.
But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America— Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop.
No, whoa. Motherfucker shocked his dog.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just— you're making her stressed.
You are.
She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom.
Right, so what the hell even happened here? Well look, Hasan has a dog by the name of Kaya. You can see her sitting in the back. As soon as she would step 1 foot off of the place where she was laying down, Hasan would get very annoyed, almost to an irrational degree. He would then look down at something, reach out to it, and after doing so, you'd hear the dog whimper as if he pressed a button. Now of course, by this point, a lot of people were convinced that he shocked his dog for doing absolutely nothing. But many were still skeptical. Why would Hasan even shock his dog for doing something so minimal? Seeing that we're in the political space, smear campaigns are fairly common. You can very easily discredit your opponent's political stances by discrediting him in another way, which is why many people, especially in Hasan's community, were very skeptical about this. Now that clip I just showed you that was posted on Livestream Fail would gain traction very quickly as he was still live. A viewer of his would alert him to how quickly it was going viral, and this is what he had to say. Watch.
Yes, I am incredibly abusive to the—
So I think the first excuse was literally that it clipped its paw. Literally, the first excuse.
Not only best trained, but also the best behaving and most spoiled dog on the planet is from when Kaya yelped. Yeah, she yelped because she fucking clipped herself on something when she was getting off the bed.
Right, so Hasan explained himself. He said she clipped her nail on the bed, that's why she yelped, and he didn't mention anything about her collar. The thing is though, people would quickly move on from the idea that he's shocking the dog and instead focus on the dog's position throughout his entire stream. Very quickly, someone would make a time lapse of that stream to show you just how long Kaya stays in the same exact position without moving. Just so you're aware, this was the stream in which she yelped. Now watch as she stays in the same position for over 4 hours.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan Abi broadcast.
She just stays there in the same position. She's not moving. She's barely
Literally,
moving.
she's just a Funko Pop.
Right? She's not even stretching. She's not even like doing anything a normal dog should be able to do. Like, I don't know, free roam around a little bit, walk around a little.
It is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential.
And this would be when she would try to maybe move a little bit,
It's the same
and he would react like crazy.
America, Kaya, please just go, just stop.
No.
There she is laying down again, not really stretching, not really moving, right? And so far it's been 3 hours. It's going to go along to the 4-hour mark, and that's when she can finally start to move. You'll see this very shortly, and here we go, right? 4 hours and 21 minutes of just laying there and not being allowed to move a single paw outside of that zone. So this is when he would start seeing the first iterations of the memes. Hasan to his dog if she interrupts his stream for 0.5 seconds. And the outrage at this point was mostly directed at how he wasn't allowing his dog to even stretch a little bit, to even walk a little bit. At the irrational annoyance of how she just put one paw outside of her bed and he acted as if she broke something. It was a very excessive reaction and it made people start asking questions. That's when certain people would start to unearth some old clips that would paint Hasan in a bad light in regards to his pet, like this one. Here we can see a guest on Hasan's stream telling him that the collar on Kaya's neck is way too tight. Watch.
And now it's mainstream. I love her. I think her collar's too tight.
Yeah, well, it's
Too much neck meat. Too much neck meat.
It's you have to be able to get 2 fingers, and I couldn't even get one. I think you're choking her.
She's like, it's 'cause she has a lot of neck meat.
So look, I don't know if this guest intended to make it sound so bad, but saying that the collar is so tight that she thinks that Hasan is choking her is definitely a wild thing to say. And his very chill reaction saying, oh yeah, it's because she has a lot of neck meat, made people question, wait, does he even care? It just simply wasn't a good look. And as people were starting to realize that this dog is kind of being used like a prop in every stream, being forced to sit there for hours on end without moving, some others like XQC simply refused to believe the idea that this wasn't a shock collar. XQC would make a direct comparison of how the collar would look before and after her yelp. Right before the yelp, it would flash green. After the yelp was finished, it would go back to normal with no extra green light. By that point, this theory had started to catch on fire. This was still the second day, and people simply refused to believe.
No, literally, QT Cinderella confirmed that was a shock
It was just
collar.
her nail clipping on whatever bed she was
First
sleeping
excuse.
on. So when Hasan would go live on October 8th, he would have one of his mods put this pinned message in his stream's chat, saying it is a collar with an AirTag and a vibration motor that is used to help with recall when she's free roaming and she's an off-leash trained dog. So by that point, Hasan and his mod team no doubt noticed all the theories running around, especially thanks to people like XQC, that this was indeed a shock collar. This pinned comment was an attempt to clear the air and silence those rumors before they got out of control. But even if this was the case, he still wasn't saying whether he actually pushed a button to vibrate or shock her. During that stream on October 8th, people would start to ask him, hey, like, what did you reach out for? What did you do with your hand
So, I think this is the Zin argument, if I'm correct.
before she yelped? Well, he would claim that he was actually reaching for a nicotine pouch to put in his mouth, even though he put nothing in his mouth. Watch.
Large dog. What were you reaching for in the clip? What do you think? That's where all my fucking Zintins are.
But of course, in the stream, even if you were to skip past, like, I don't know, a half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever you want, you would never see him reach.
Welcome to the second excuse. And number 2 is literally, what the fuck? You didn't fly, you stupid bird. Don't make me shock you. And literally the second thing, later on, I don't know if you'll talk about this. You will learn that he has a shock collar. There's video footage.
out for a Zin or put anything in his mouth. This to many just felt like another bogus excuse. Things weren't adding up. You start to see certain memes come up like this Hearthstone card right here saying cast lightning bolt on every beast in your opponent's hand, deck, and battlefield. You see this very detailed meme of Slay the Spire in which you channel one lightning. And of course, you can't go wrong with a classic Minecraft meme in which he's herding his dog from a distance. Facing insurmountable global pressure at this point, Hasan would finally decide to show the collar on stream. It would be very brief, and he'd be hoping to finally silence the critics so that he can move on from this incident or controversy. Watch.
It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it. Are you happy? That's it. Good. There's the AirTag. There's the fucking vibrator. It also has a flashlight component to it at nighttime, and it also has a tracker on it when she gets lost. If she were to actually get fucking lost.
Someone would make a comment saying, bro's handling it like a magician handles a deck of cards.
Literally.
And I can't help but agree here. The way he's showing it is very quick. It's almost like he's trying to hide it or not show it for too long. I don't know. It just seems suspicious.
Literally, it feels like he... Obviously, this is a day after the shocking, actually. Meaning that... Freaking how to put it? He could have just removed the prongs, put tape on it, or a different collar of some sorts.
It's like, why are you so shy? And while people were definitely suspicious of this, it kind of seemed off. His community was very happy because now they finally had proof that he wasn't shocking his dog. He wasn't an animal abuser. They could finally send this clip to the haters and say, hey, see, he's...
The haters don't believe you, and you're retarded if you believe in Hasan's words. That's how you know you're part of the Hasan Hamas Diddy Piker
went through this. This is a vibration collar, no shock prongs, and would even go further and say that all his friends, all the big streamers and content creators that have duo streamed with him in his own house would have definitely said something if he actually was shocking his dog for no reason. But even though this topic was gaining a lot of traction online, Hasan was still completely unaware that this was just the beginning, because a very big content creator would go ahead and make a video about it. On October 9th, just a couple of days after the initial incident, Moist Critical would upload a video titled Crazy Day on Twitch. He would also point out how things weren't really making much sense, how his explanations were definitely inconsistent with reality. And even though Hasan kept using the excuse that this was a well-trained dog and this was part of her training, Moist Critical would go on to give his perspective on training since he has a dog himself. You see, that little corner that Kaya is meant to sit on is her place. When you give a dog a place, it's meant to be their safe, comfy spot. This is done for many reasons, but it could be a way, for example, for the dog to just chill out. If the dog's hyperactive, just can't calm down, and for whatever reason jumps on people, for example, from excitement, and you might have a kid or an elderly person in your house, then telling your dog, place, tells them to calm down, go sit in that comfortable spot, and just...
Okay, that makes more sense. He trained his dog to be a Funko Pop.
Enjoy their time for a little while. What Moist Critical points out is that this place is meant to be comfortable. It's not meant to be a prison. They're not meant to sit there for hours and hours at a time. Dogs are active creatures. And while shock collars are tools used to train dogs, they certainly shouldn't be used just because your dog wants to stretch. So no matter how you looked at this, whether there was a shock collar involved or not, it just looked very bad. And people weren't really getting the reassurance they were looking for from Hasan.
Yeah, I really agree with this take. It doesn't even matter. The shock collar isn't really the big... Well, it is a big deal, but it's the fact that his dog stays in one place for the entirety of 8 hours. That's like literal animal abuse if you're forcing your dog to stay like that. God damn it.
They were very worried for Kaya because it seemed like she was being mistreated. On the same day, Hasan would go live again, and instead of giving any form of reassurance, he would instead be very salty over the fact that Moist Critical made a video about him without messaging him beforehand. What's notable here is that he didn't even bother watching the video himself. He just took his chatter's word for what was actually in the video, and they were quoting some things out of context, making it seem like Charlie was intending to conduct a character assassination when in fact, he was like most others, concerned about the dog's safety. That was it. This post of Hasan complaining about Moist Critical has over 26,000 upvotes on Reddit, and the top comments are all just a bunch of memes involving Hasan electrocuting his dog. I mean, look, it's horrible. I feel so sorry for the dog, and that yelp definitely hit me deep in the chest. But these memes are so creative, I just can't help but laugh. And speaking of all these memes, Hasan would so effortlessly keep supplying them with more material because his story would keep changing and he would keep coming up with different excuses that had nothing to do with the prior ones he talked about before. On October 10th, 2025, Hasan would say that, you know what, that even though he's not using a shock collar, it wouldn't be ridiculous if he did. Watch.
Like, they don't realize that even the e-collars that do shock are unironically used to train fucking like service dogs and shit.
The thing is, no one was arguing with the fact that shock collars are used to train. What people were arguing about was the fact that the dog was forced to sit there for hours and that he had seemingly used it for something so benign, so small.
Yeah.
As one Redditor would sum this up, he'd say, so we've gone from, she stubbed her paw, it's a vibration collar only, not for shocking. If it was a shock, his friends would tell us, and now shock collars aren't that bad.
No, then it's like, can't grab my zins. It's like we're so many excuses upon excuses. I just can't see anything than he shocking his dog.
Anyway, it had barely been 72 hours and we had already gone through 4 different excuses. And this, of course, would spread this incident beyond anyone's imagination, which would end up creating even more creative memes like this one that says, breathes too loud, Thundaga. Or Hasan being raiding over here, electrocuting Kaya, and of course him being Emperor Palpatine. So by October 11th, seeing that this has blown up way more than Hasan could have ever imagined in his wildest dreams, he would take on the perspective of a victim, saying streamers that he knows have either defended him or are scared to do it publicly, except for Moist Critical. People were simply wondering, why can't...
There's so many people. Frogan, that stupid bitch Frogan defended you. Literally, Anissa Jomha defended you. Who else iDubbbz defended you. And your fucking dog walker, dog sitter defended you. It's even crazy that her dog, whatever, is a streamer as well.
Can't Kaya just live a normal life? Why can't she just free roam around the house if she's not causing any trouble? Why must she stay locked up in prison, like just sitting there behind the scenes like a prop? Surely this can't be healthy. If you know anything about dogs, you know that they're active creatures. They need to actually move and stretch. What would Hasan's response be? I don't want to hear from people who don't understand dogs. But don't worry, okay? It's fine if you're confused because yet another excuse would drop on October 14th, 2025. Remember how he said that his arm moved in that clip because he was reaching out for a Zin pouch? Yeah, well, it turned out that story was false. He was actually pushing the gate button, and Kaya's yelp was her reacting in excitement that
another excuse.
She finally gets to leave. Watch.
Guys that don't even know Kaya's name, coming in here saying you'll be I know. Can we just move on, please? Because the memes were funny in the first couple of days, but now the only people that still are like actively pushing it are people who are genuinely mentally ill in the way that like anytime my fucking arm moves around or like I unlock the gate or some shit, like I do have a button on my desk for the gate, right? And I unlock the gate, and obviously if you have a dog, you know this already, when they hear that the gate is unlocked, they perk up. They're like, oh my God, he shocked her again. You know, it's just, they are weird stalkers that are demonstrating their mental illness.
The fuck? Weird stalkers are generally, expressing their mental illness. How do I put this in translation? I shock the dog, and I make an excuse so I don't get in trouble and be looked bad in front of other people. Especially my enemies like Destiny's mocking me, even though he has CP in his folder, blah blah blah.
And I think it's just, it is what it is.
Now look, I don't know what your reaction to this is so far in this video. Maybe you're thinking he's 100% guilty and he's lying, or you're thinking maybe people are exaggerating and he's actually innocent. He would never harm his own dog, especially not live on stream. Well, regardless of what side you're on, most people understood the truth when he would inadvertently show the shock dog collar remote on stream when he would set up the camera above him. I mean, you really can't make this up. Watch.
Don't put the Y shot. Boom.
Boom, collar.
Right here. And he's going to notice it, and he's going to move it immediately. Watch.
Caller. Yo, this is Christmas time.
I'm protecting her. The floor is lava. All right, so at this point, it was confirmed. The shock collar remote was actually a thing, and it was exactly what he had pressed on that day. But can we confirm truly that it's a shock collar? Is it not a vibration collar? Well, everyone put their weaponized autism to good use and actually cracked the case, finding the exact dog collar model, understanding that it is indeed a shock collar, but that it also has removable prongs. Okay, you can actually remove the prongs that shock the dog. And I mean, look at this, bro. This is like someone who is trying to find like a terrorist, like someone on the wanted list of the FBI. Like, look at all this. This is crazy. The lengths people will go just to prove that it's a shock collar. So this is all proof showing that this is the same exact model that he's using. But then they go on to show that he had removed the prongs the day after the shock had occurred and put tape over it. How did they prove that? Well, they fiddled around with the light levels in Photoshop and found out that yes, indeed, there is a tape, and you can kind of see the color difference between the collar itself and the black tape. You can also clearly see that the shock collar remote is the same exact one on his desk as well. I mean, it was undeniable at this point. The collar itself was the e-collar ET300 Mini Educator, and Hasan had very clearly lied, not just to his audience, but the internet in general. This was very...
Yeah, obviously he would. He doesn't want to get that much backlash. I understand. But it's Hasan Piker. He's already done so many bad things. This is just a laundry list of other bad things.
worrying, and of course people who were fearing the worst were now fearful that he was actually abusing his dog regularly. This sense of worry empowered people who are chronically online even more to dig through past clips and find out exactly what Hasan's relationship with Kaya truly is. And honestly, from what they found, it doesn't look good at all. Now look, by this point, of course, he still had many people in denial that no, Hasan doesn't abuse his dog, and no, Kaya doesn't even stay in the same spot for that long, even though we literally saw proof of that. But I mean, if you're still doubtful, this is him straight up admitting it. Watch.
And also, one of the parts of this training is also supposed to put her, like, we're using the elevated bed, as you guys can see. And one of the things with the elevated bed is that she has a leash on right now on the elevated bed, so she can't like really get off of it. So
okay, so she can't escape.
Sit in place.
Yeah, literally, she just keep her there as a Funko Pop
for hours and hours on end.
You fucking
so I don't know of any
cruel
situation
monster
when you own a dog where you'd want them to sit for hours on end in the same spot. This just doesn't make sense to me. Dogs are not a prop, okay? If she gets overly excited and risks hurting someone who's elderly or who's a child in the house, sure, you can just say place, have her sit down before she starts moving again normally for her joints and for her legs. If someone calls this animal abuse, then I wouldn't say they're exaggerating. And speaking of animal abuse, people would find another suspicious clip from his past streams where he treats Kaya in a weird way. Watch.
Absolute garbage. Did you compare this to the Japanese airport experience? Yeah, the Japanese airport experience is like everything works, everything is fast. Kaya, place.
Grabs the thing.
Get back there. What is this?
What the hell?
Don't worry.
I mean that's 100% right.
To many, this seemed like he was shocking her again, getting very pissed over the fact that she moved a little bit after sitting around for hours. It was yet again an exaggerated reaction, and it wasn't really warranted. But the most...
See, Twitch's entire solution is just get rid of Hasan Piker. Just get rid of him off the platform. Make him stream at Party, make him stream on YouTube. Doesn't really matter. Punish him at least. To be consistent.
Damning evidence that people had found from his past streams is the fact that he actually pulled on his dog's tail directly, saying, "Stay or I'm gonna fucking kill you." This was live on stream. Watch this for yourself.
Motherfucker, come here.
What? You can't be doing that.
If you run right now.
You can't be pulling on a fucking dog's tail. That literally connected to their fucking spine. What the fuck's wrong with you, Hasan?
I'll fucking kill you. Like, I'll actually kill you, okay? In front of
you fucking piece of shit. This is why everyone hates your ass. See, Hasan does not get enough hate. And it's warranted. It's always warranted.
Stay. Motherfucker, come here.
Stay. No, come here.
So obviously this is inexcusable, right? At this point,
Yeah.
whether you're a diehard fan of Hasan or a hater, I don't care. You can never excuse someone pulling on a dog's tail. It's extremely sensitive and can damage many of its internals. We're talking nerves in the spine. We're talking more specifically nerve damage, avulsion, and even permanent incontinence. It was getting very hard to defend Hasan. At this point, this wasn't even political anymore. Sure, his political opponents were using this as an opportunity to attack his character and his political opinions, but whether you're into politics or not, I'm sure we can all agree this is unacceptable behavior. And seeing that some of his friends are the biggest content creators on Twitch and just in general, people were wondering, are they going to say something about this? Are they?
It's a cuck squad. It's literally the cuck squad. Fuck Valkyrie as well. I hate her ass. And QT Cinderella, her fucking
Gonna
bitch
condone his
boyfriend.
behavior or actually call it out, give him some criticism, some feedback like a normal friend does? Well, no, not at all actually. It's very weird. You might have seen this image of Hasan dressed up as Raiden shocking Ludwig while he's wearing a dog collar, and you might literally have no idea why it exists. Well, this is of course insinuating the fact that Ludwig is Hasan's dog and he trained him very well. That's because at some point there was this very stupid controversy in which Hasan said that streaming is way harder than a regular job. This was back in February 2024. Ludwig would make a video about the situation on his Mogul Mail channel in which he talked about news, and Hasan got so pissed at him.
Also, you can pull on fucking Ludwig because he has no spine. He's spineless.
For making him look bad, that he ended up cutting parts of the video to then just straight up removing it. He'd end up re-uploading it without any of the clips that were criticizing Hasan. This made people realize early on that even when it came to friendships, Hasan was never open to criticism. He saw everything as an attack on both his character and his entire brand, no matter who said it. Ludwig, of course, was seen like someone who was spineless, someone who couldn't hold down his own opinion, and who caved in to pressure from Hasan whenever he wanted. So of course, it's no surprise to say that over a week after the clip had surfaced, Ludwig has said nothing about this, even though he's a close friend of Hasan. But that didn't matter. The person that people really wanted to hear from was Hasan's girlfriend, Valkyrie. I do want to point out that they've never officially announced that they're dating, but at this point, it's like more of an open secret, right? Valkyrie is known as someone who's very brand friendly, who's never into controversies, and whenever she does end up in one, she immediately apologizes and caves in. People were expecting, or at least hoping, for her to say something about the situation, but instead she gave a response that made people end up, well, fueling the memes even further. Watch.
Oh no.
Clip did look horrible. The clip was really bad. It was so bad. And it's understandable why everyone was freaking out about it, but I can verify that Kaya is the most loved and spoiled and just the
Literally Hasan approved talking points.
most well-trained and best little baby or big baby that I have ever been around and that I have ever seen. So big baby. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You would think that this kind of outrage, we would have seen it towards like the genocide and stuff, but
Stop making it about Israel Palestine. That doesn't stop these people suffering under the Jews. Is not Hasan. This does not have interconnection to the dog. Literally.
this priorities in this world are not where they should be. But alas.
Man, this comes off as so toned up, like she's on a high horse. Like, just because there's a genocide happening in Gaza, you don't have a right to be concerned over a dog's safety. Oh, there's a ceasefire that's been signed recently between Gaza and Israel. It's probably not going to last. Oh, well, still, you can't criticize Hasan or Kaya because guess what? There's another genocide currently going on in Sudan.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing about how fucking the left will function. And that's super fucking annoying, where they dodge accountability by using a tragedy. It's like, imagine if it was like the 1940s and they're like, you can't criticize me, the Holocaust. Like, we can criticize you. The Holocaust doesn't have anything to do with it.
How dare you? So evidently, this made people make fun of Valkyrie to the point of like no return. Like, this was the best you could come up with to defend your boyfriend?
Literally, she had to apologize to her community for DMing Asmongold.
Come on, you can do better than that. Well, the thing is, Valkyrie's viewpoint wasn't really that different from Hasan's most loyal viewers. They also thought the same exact thing. This meme was posted on Hasan's subreddit saying, "I can excuse genocide, but I draw the line at animal cruelty," to which someone responds with, "You can excuse genocide?" Again, it's a very weird viewpoint because you can be both against genocide and against animal cruelty. I really don't see why people are acting like we're choosing here. This was never about a genocide. This was just about a dog being shocked for no reason. Valkyrie would then go live the next day and admit that she's been getting so much hate that she asked 2 streamers for advice regarding her current Reddit hate threads. One streamer by the name of NMPLOL and Asmongold. Guys, I just want to show you what her chat's reaction is when she mentions just the name Asmongold. I just want you to see it because I can't explain it unless you look at it. Watch.
Messaged Nick Poem and I messaged Asmongold. I asked both of them. I was like, "Hey, I don't really use Reddit a whole lot, but like, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea if I respond to a post and be like, oh, I understand where you guys are coming from. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I should have definitely like spoken about it differently." And both of them
Asmon the Nazi? What the
reassured
fuck?
me.
We need to stop calling people Nazis. That's just not how. It's so stupid and redundant. If you call everyone a Nazi, then no one's a Nazi.
That it's a good idea to
Look at her
not,
chat.
because I know they're like they're Reddit people. So I was like, they both said they're both very nice.
They are
both
so
said,
outraged.
Don't respond. It's not a good.
She's so dead inside seeing her chat because now she not only pissed off Reddit, now she's pissing off her own loyal community by mentioning Asmon. By doing this, she had pissed off everyone. It's just such a disaster, dude. The next day, she would immediately apologize on stream that she DM'd Asmongold saying that she wasn't aware of the rhetoric that he spouted.
Literally spineless. Valkyrie's a spineless loser. She deserves nothing.
And that she lives under a rock, even though her job is to literally be chronically online. But you know what's funny? The day before that, after saying that she had DM'd both NMPLOL and Asmongold, she would notice her chat getting really pissed at her, and so she'd say that she doesn't agree with everything Asmongold has been saying. See for yourself.
Ray, the hate you're getting right now is crazy after reaching to Asmon. Guys, listen, I don't agree with many things that he says, but I was looking for an LSF Reddit expert. I asked 2 people. I asked Nick and Asmon, and they both said to not respond to the thread because I didn't know if it was a good idea or not. Like, I don't know, man. I just wanted advice because I didn't know what to do. I'm just gonna get hate no matter what I do, bro. I don't know.
So, which is it? Are you really living under a rock? Or are you just pretending to be outraged because your community's outraged? I'm just gonna go with the latter, just, based on your past history. You know, it sucks because I don't think Valkyrie is a bad person. I just think that she suffers from the problem many
I think she's retarded.
of her friends suffer from, where they give too much power to their community, where they can literally get bullied by them if they do something they don't like. And by this point, people found it very hard to take her seriously. In fact, she became the subject of ridicule just like Hasan. This is when she would become a part of the memes. Hasan when Kaya takes one step.
Well, there's nothing over here to fix. That's crazy.
Yeah, don't worry. This was my face when I saw Kaya getting tased too. Another streamer from the big clique of streamers of Los Angeles would also defend Hasan, saying he is a good dog owner, even though she admits in her statement that they're literally acquaintances, that she doesn't know him that well. But the big bombshell here was when the podcast Sweet and Sour ran by.
It's the Pokimane one where they literally, her fucking, I guess the people that produce the podcast blocked the episode, and Pokimane's just gonna fire them all.
Pokimane and Lily Pichu, 2 very big content creators also based in LA and part of Hasan's friend group, would post a small update on their Patreon saying, "Hey taste buds, this is a tough one to write, but we wanted to give you all a heads up that we're unfortunately going to be missing our first scheduled Saturday video tomorrow. We've been watching the recent drama unfold considering our guest, and it's been getting intense. We had a serious talk as a crew and we all agreed that it did not feel right uploading tomorrow's video at this moment in time. Our community is our favorite thing, and the reason we do this is to create a space that is comfy as always and a true escape. We do not want to impact the cozy atmosphere we've all built together. Thanks for always supporting our vision for a fun, positive place to hang out. See you all next week. Sweet and Sour staff." So Hasan was meant to get on the Sweet and Sour podcast with both Lily Pichu and Pokimane, and the episode was meant to come out around this time. They decided not to release it because he was getting a lot of backlash. Honestly, I don't really agree with this decision, right? This only feels like they're throwing their friend under the bus purely because they don't want to get dislikes, but honestly, it doesn't matter. If you bring Hasan on a podcast, it will get mass dislike. That's just how it is. Like when he got on the Trash Taste podcast in the beginning of this year, look at this like to dislike ratio. Oh my god, 50,000 comments. This is insane. Point is, Hasan had many haters even before the whole shock collar incident, so I don't see why, as close friends of his, this would matter, right? Seeing that they don't really have a problem with his dog getting shocked for no reason.
So I kind of see it's appeasement of the community in general. That's why you would cancel it. The problem is it doesn't matter about their little friend group. Yes, he would get hate regardless. But in the marketplace of ideas, it's very important to literally just appease the general peoples.
Thing is though, things got even more complicated because then Pokimane would tweet out, "The episode was supposed to air as usual, but staff refused to upload it out of fear it'd cause drama, and also posted this statement without my approval. Sad face. Sorry guys, we'll talk about everything on this week's episode and go on a hiatus afterwards to restructure." So, Pokimane made this out to be a mistake. Staff went behind hers and Lily Pichu's backs. And now she was going to go on a hiatus and restructure. In other words, fire people in this wonderful economy. Wow. Look at this meme right here. Look at this.
Hell.
Anyway, it seemed like Pokimane was truly trying to save face here. It was a desperate attempt because 2 days before that tweet, she would make an Instagram story saying, "Quick update, recording a new podcast episode Thursday to explain why we missed last week and have an honest chat." Huh, interesting. Now, of course, people have their own theories and speculations, like maybe Hasan messaged her and was very outraged at the fact that they're not uploading the podcast episode and wanted to throw her staff under the bus to not get on his bad side. Overall, regardless of the speculation or the real reason, she lied, okay? Straight up lied and threw her staff under the bus. So just like Valkyrie, she ended up seeing controversy, tried to recover, and ended up pissing everyone at the same time instead. Wonderful. The rest of Hasan's friends would go on to invite him over for a little podcast and defend him very openly that they've never seen him shock his dog. Watch.
Oh, I care. So you've probably been asked too. People keep coming in our chat and they're
go
like,
to Austin's chat.
If this isn't this the same podcast where they asked Hasan's favorite flag, and he goes like, "It's Hezbollah, Hezbollah."
They go to poor rickety old Austin show who's barely getting
and they're
up in
like,
the
why
morning.
are you hanging out with a dog abuser?
Yeah.
I would like to make it clear, I don't believe that Hasan has abused a dog.
No, I also
personally
don't believe that either because I bore witness to how you treat her and you treat her much better than me.
So, you know, this is really interesting because, of course, these are more of his friends defending him completely.
Treat her better than me. Is that what you R-word the dog to something? What the fuck does that mean?
Clip, all the proof that was accumulated so far. But interestingly enough, the reason why a lot of people were going to Austin's chat in particular asking him about this was because he very openly collabed with Hasan on his own stream when Kaya was in the background. Now look at this clip of Kaya going under the feet of Hasan, him getting pissed off that she's not sitting in the same spot for hours. And as Austin is sitting right next to him, you could very clearly hear the sound of a shock.
Was the
Watch.
case when we were young too. Hey, out.
And right here.
Place. Kaya, place. Go. Go. No, place. Enough of this madness.
Look
at how dead inside his friend looks. Look at how dead inside.
That's how you know your friend's retarded and he likes to defend you because Hasan would rape
Austin
him.
looks. He says firsthand he was there and never saw a shock. So are we just lying now? One of Hasan's friends that has said nothing and has been getting a lot of indirect flack is Maya Higa, someone who owns an animal sanctuary in California and cares a lot about animals. Now look, I'll sit here and say harassment is bad no matter how it's done, no matter who it's done to. I don't encourage it, I don't condone it, and I think it should stop. But at the same time, it shows how much anger is in people's minds right now, seeing how this dog's being treated and seeing that all his friends, including someone who owns an animal sanctuary, isn't saying anything. Well, they would have so openly said something if it was another streamer, just not Hasan. But look, even with all that being said, and as much as Valkyrie would want to say that she lives under a rock, his friends were very well aware of the controversy going on and how their silence was contributing to a negative image of their brand. This prompted more of them to start talking about the situation, but of course, they would only make it substantially worse. See. On Stable Ronaldo's stream, Cutie Cinderella, who is Ludwig's girlfriend and who is one of Hasan's friends, would confirm that she went to his house to check the collar. She thought she was helping him by saying this, but what she ended up saying actually ended up sabotaging him beyond belief. Watch.
W accident based.
No, there's no shock. Like the electric prongs are taken out of it.
But here's my thing, right?
Like it's only a vibrate. It's like there's a setting for vibrate and there's a setting for shock.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So there's only the, like, since the prongs are in it, it only vibrates.
So all of a sudden we went from, oh, this is just a vibration collar to, no, actually the prongs were taken out. So this is indeed the shock collar. At this point, people could just keep saying he said, she said, whatever. That's why he should have shown it on the first day, right? The theory now is that he took out the prongs on the second day when the controversy was blowing up beyond his wildest dreams. But she pretty much had confirmed that this was indeed the electrical shock model. However, she wasn't really the only friend who completely screwed him over without really meaning to. Caroline Kwan, a streamer and the girlfriend of Hasan's best friend, would claim that she's someone who has dog-sitted Kaya before and that no, this is not a shock collar in any way, going completely against what Cutie Cinderella just said. Watch.
I know it probably doesn't matter to you because you're going to believe what you want to believe and from the sources you want to believe it from, and that's why, like, doesn't matter what I or anyone else says, but it's not a shock collar. I've seen that collar. I've used that collar before. I've babysat that dog.
So which one is it?
I'm pretty sure it's a shock collar. You just can't tell me otherwise. It's a fucking shock collar to the end of time, and nothing will stop me from that. You two are just retarded, and you're afraid that Hasan will rape you.
Is it a shock collar? Is it a shock collar with the prongs taken out with tape on it, or is it not a shock collar at all? I just don't get it, dude. I don't think his friends realize that every time they open their mouth without getting their story straight, they're making him look way worse. It's like, can we just get to the bottom of this and move on already? Of course not, because now people are thinking, well, okay, who lied? Is it Cutie Cinderella who's lying, or is it Caroline who's lying because they both have different stories? Man, whatever. Check this meme out. POV, you're Hasan's dog and you step 1 foot off your bed.
Of America's much more consequential violence. Okay? It's the same reason as to why
there we go.
America,
no.
Kaya, please just...
No.
It's so stupid. In the end, what I find so funny is that Hasan had openly made fun of pirate software back during his controversy. A narcissist just like him who never was able to take any criticism or feedback correctly and now finds himself in the same exact situation. I mean, look at this.
With the things that I talk about. So, see, you're totally a video game understander. Yeah, I think, like, as far as I understand, like, the pirate software stuff, like, if he had just simply stood aside and was like, I f***ed up, you know? And took ownership over it, like it never would have exploded to the.
Who would win? Who'd win in the apology speed run? Thor or Hasan?
Degree that it did.
I mean, you can't make this up. If Hasan had simply taken accountability, if he stepped back and said, you know what, listen, I screwed up, maybe I overdid it, maybe I was having a bad day, I'll make very substantial changes to the way I treat my dog so that I don't abuse her, then hey, maybe we wouldn't have reached this point. But him denying it and making up different excuses and just deflecting in such a stupid way while having all his friends root for him, knowing that he's wrong, this had the complete opposite effect. And that's what brought us here, to the point where it's now a global phenomenon. Like, look at this guy making a straight up Roblox level called Hasanabi Dog Simulator, right? Where if you step out of this box, look at this, you just get shot. You just die. These memes have been so creative. I mean, look at this RuneScape meme where you shock a dog. I mean, even Ninja had something to say about this, right? Ninja, who typically stays out of drama. Watch.
Do I have a collar on?
Don't worry, guys. It's not a shot collar. It's just a Scooby-Doo collar.
Raggy, don't rock me.
So look, after this whole debacle, where do we find ourselves now? Did Hasan admit anything or apologize? No, of course not. But seeing how much controversy had built up around this,
he called you a right-winging neo-Nazi Zionist. He just called you an alt-right piece of shit. That's all he's gonna do.
now he feels forced to let Kaya walk around whenever she wants to. Watch for yourself.
We've finally gotten to a place where, like, oh, pure peace is taking place. It's taking place. Is I don't know what you're doing. Okay, what? What do you want? What? What do you want? Huh?
To shock you.
Okay. The chutzpah, if you will.
Was it that hard?